It's your boy Buzz back with another video, man. Hey, man, today we're gonna talk about the current state of hip hop or the current state of the rap game. Now, as y'all know, maybe over it might have been 10 years now, right? 10 years, maybe. I'm not sure, but it's been a while since we've been introduced to streaming, right? So let me come over here to Google real quick. Let me see when Fabulous dropped Young OG. Not the song, the project. Yeah, okay. All right, so released December 25th, 2014. All right, now this was the reason why I went to this album, right? This was the first album I bought digitally. Like, I bought it through Google Play. You feel me? Back then, was it Google Play? It might have been something else. But either way, it was Google. I had Android back then. Yeah. But this was Fab first project that he dropped 100% online. Like, you couldn't go in the store and get it. And before this point, still having CDs in stores was a thing. You feel me? Like, I remember I graduated high school in 2015 when J. Cole dropped KOD. I can't remember what year that was, but I went and bought CDs. I got For Your Eyes Only. I got the CD. Sideline Story. I got the CD. You feel me? Like, only CD I don't have is the Off Season, and that's recent. Like, I'm pretty sure you could get a CD, but I know it's a little harder to find CDs in store. You might could still go in FYE and get a CD, which I never checked in there. I might do that though, cause J. Cole, that's my favorite artist. You feel me? So, like, having his albums is, kind of mandatory for me. Like, you feel me? I really rock with Cole, right? So, anyways, I came to this project, like I said, because this was the first project that it was completely digital. You know what I mean? And it was different. That's when everything was changing. You feel me? So now, that was 10 years ago. That was in 2014. This is 2024. So we talking 10 years ago. And, like, bro, it's different. Now we're kind of in the midst of, like, going back to what it used to be. Like, the talks of, like, direct to consumer is back in, like, heavy rotation. Like, yo, we not really making money off streaming, bro. Like, they paying us not even a penny. You feel me? They paying us a percentage of a penny per stream. And, like, you feel me? It takes a crazy amount of streams in order for you to live off your music. And you can go and sell your music directly to your fans and sell way less, make way more, and actually live comfortably as an artist. Feel me? So we got this video right here. Shout out to Fantastic Hip Hop. The title of the video, How 2024 is About to Change Hip Hop Forever. So we're gonna check it out. But first, let me change this camera battery because it's finna die. Alright, I'm back. Let's get it. Let's see what this video about. See what points are made.
And Travis Scott's Utopia, and specifically these albums in contrast to their last album.
Yeah, it looked like I kind of watched this video. I don't remember this video at all. Keep it a buck with y'all.
As 2023 comes to a close, a year in hip-hop that many have called one of the worst in its 50-year history is finally over, but what this means for the future of the genre is going to shock you. Now, while we are moving into a year for hip-hop that is already gearing up to be way more exciting than 2023, with record labels cutting funding from signing and developing rappers in search of other types of artists, along with the significant decline in public interest around rap as a whole, the question we need to ask ourselves is, can hip-hop bounce back and enter another another era of dominance in 2024. Now, before we can answer this question and find out the reality rap will inevitably face, we need to understand what has put hip-hop into the hole that has led so many people to question if it's dying in the first place. Now, when we look at everything wrong in the current landscape of rap music, I think all of the problems the genre is facing are due to the separation of the forces that historically have kept hip-hop culture alive, well, and growing for decades to this point. So when it comes to what united and turned rap into the era-defining art form it became, you can pin it all to the success of a few factors that have worked alongside one another to put the genre in a league of its own. First off, you got the collective relevance built around rap artists, albums, and songs, which this is the part of hip-hop culture that keeps things buzzing and growing and always in the public discourse, but more importantly than this, what keeps the heart of hip-hop beating all stems back to the quality and more tangibly the authenticity of the music itself. Now, historically in hip-hop, for the most part, these factors have gone together hand in hand, and it has allowed for the genre.
Alright, so one thing, he said relevance, right? So is relevance dying in hip hop? I don't know if the relevance is dying, but I know that we're starting to see the same thing over and over. So that goes into number 2, which is authenticity, right? So like we're starting to see like every artist use damn near the same blueprint because it's working for someone else. So it's like, but it wasn't always like that. Like coming into hip hop, like everybody used to have like their own path. You feel me? Like you do that, I do this. But now it's like you doing that is working. Let me try that. So it's kind of like every artist is kind of mirroring one another. So I feel like that's kind of the issue. But as we move forward and we get back to artists really having their own identity again, then we could move back towards dominance. Because it's hard to dominate when everybody doing the same thing. You feel me? Like, you can't have a team full of Steph Currys. Which, thinking about it, you might be like, it might work. Who gonna rebound? You feel me? Who gonna rebound? Might be one hell of an offensive team, but on that other end, it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard. You feel me? So that's just how I look at it.
To not just grow, but to thrive. Whether we look at Biggie, Kanye, Kendrick Lamar, or countless others, it has been hip-hop's rare blend of authenticity and stardom that has allowed for it to resonate with millions of people around the world in ways that most other genres merely can't. So when we look at what went wrong in hip-hop in 2023, the main problem all stems from the division between these two facets of the culture that have been historically intertwined. On one hand, it seems like every artist that was making headlines or racking up streaming numbers was doing it because of personal drama or artificially made hits that were forced down people's throats, while the music that was actually good and had the potential to shift the culture was not getting the love it deserved whatsoever. Outside of a select few names,
it's been like that for years, bro. Like they so focused on promoting what they want to work that they're ignoring the shit that would just work just because. You feel me? Like, yeah, so it's like they're too busy trying to force us to like certain music or certain artists, and it's like, and now labels are starting to say like, this shit ain't working. Like we losing money. It's like, yeah, bro, but y'all trying to create artists. You feel me? Like, and I'm not saying like that's like they used to develop artists, right? Developing artists and creating artists are two different things, right? Because now developing artists, usually you take an artist who is in beginning stages and then you help them gradually become who they could be. Like you help them reach full potential. Creating artists, we have seen in these days, like, bro, they are literally turning creators into artists. Like they just go, oh, you popping on TikTok, you should try to make music. You're big on YouTube, you should try to make music. You're big on, like, anybody with a following, like they're trying to convince them that they can do music. Which there are some creators who are very dope at music. You know what I mean? Not saying that there aren't. There are creators who make fire music, in my opinion. You feel me? But everybody's not a rapper, bro. That's my thing. Like, everybody's not a rapper, bro. Like, we gotta let that shit go, bro. Everybody can't rap, bro. For real.
This separation in hip-hop made the music everybody was hearing feel superficial and inauthentic, with the overabundance and oversaturation of music we currently have in the digital age. It's becoming increasingly difficult to go beyond the surface and find quality records, and this has led a lot of people to turn their back on hip-hop in favor of other genres whose most talked about artists are straight up offering music that's more compelling. So understanding the problem that is responsible for the decline in interest in hip-hop all across the board. To answer the question regarding if rap can reclaim its former glory this year, the answer is complicated. Now, 2024 is about to be a year that doesn't just change hip-hop as we know it, but it will end up determining rap's fate for the next generation, and the way how is going to shock you. Now, hip-hop's next chapter is something that I'm calling the age of the artist, and let me explain why. As 2023 proved, the era of rappers hopping onto popular trends and carving out a career from riding out the wave of what is hot is over, and while most labels and artists have not realized this, and this has made it look like rap is dying, the genre is just evolving, and in the process of change, this current decline is a result of shedding off all the music and rappers that won't succeed in hip-hop's upcoming chapter. Now, I know some of you are probably saying that this is wishful thinking, but when we look beyond the current problems in hip-hop and all of the fear people have buzzed up saying that hip-hop is dead and worrying about the future of the genre, all of the pieces have been laid out right in front of us, and we have all just been way too distracted to see it. Rap is on the brink of pushing into a new era, and we have been so bogged down trying to recreate the nostalgia of years like 2016 or 2018 that it's been too hard to just look into the future. So when we look at this next generation of hip-hop and see what the future of the genre has in store, something's going on that has never happened before. Now, when we look at different eras and generations of music, especially in hip-hop, you have to understand that each new style and movement is a response to the previous trends, and while most eras in hip-hop have built on their predecessors, what's going on right now is actually destroying the foundation of the previous era, both for better and for worse. The 2010s were the decade where hip-hop became pop music, and while it was awesome to see the genre rack up so many #1s and awards at this point in the 2020s, all of the artists on the brink of this change in rap music are no longer interested in dominating airwaves and racking up streaming numbers, but instead are trying to make music that is purely for themselves. From changing sounds, styles, and genres to penning some of the most personal and boundary-pushing stories ever told in rap, what most of the leaders in hip-hop have been doing recently is pushing the genre forward, guided by one and one thing only: their most authentic and uncompromised creative vision. Now, I think this change in hip-hop and transition into a new era can best be seen with two of the biggest rappers and albums in recent memory, with Kendrick Lamar's Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers and Travis Scott's Utopia, and specifically, these albums in contrast to their last albums, Damn and Astroworld. Now, with these records, despite Damn and Astroworld being more successful albums commercially with songs that dominated every facet of pop culture, while Mr. Morale and Utopia did not have as large of a commercial impact as these records, they've ended up being more successful ventures in other ways for Kendrick and Travis, which has been specifically reflected within Kendrick's Big Steppers tour and Travis's ongoing Circus Maximus tour. From Kendrick setting the record for the highest grossing hip-hop tour of all time to Travis breaking records with merchandise sales. While these albums are not as universally loved as their predecessors, the newfound levels of authenticity through Kendrick's introspective writing or Travis's take on an experimental album have built stronger bonds with fans, and in turn have created stronger communities and cultures. And as we move forward into this new era of hip-hop, this very concept of fostering a community is becoming the very factor that is making or breaking artists' careers. With rappers who have plateaued creatively, these are the ones who are failing to sell tickets, as there is no culture and group of people forming together around the shared love of their music. But just as some rappers are canceling tours, others are seeing record high ticket sales for how strong their fan bases are getting. As we are in 2024, I think the most important artist who is showing just how valuable community and authenticity are is Playboi Carti, which when you look at the run he has had as he has began his rollout for his upcoming album Music, everything Carti is doing proves that hip-hop is not dead one bit, It's just evolving. In a time where so many rappers are on the decline, Playboi Carti's new songs are racking up millions of views. Playboi Carti's new songs are racking up millions of views because of the raw sense of authenticity and the one-of-a-kind style he has brought to everything he is a part of, and this is making his upcoming album one of the most anticipated records we have seen in modern hip-hop. Now, while Playboi Carti is the example in real time showing how hip-hop is becoming more artist-driven than anything else, every other rapper who has found major success.
So this is basically what I was saying, bro. We need more identity in the culture. Like, the identity is far in between. You're at this point, you can look at one artist and look at another artist and be like, y'all do the same thing. It wasn't always like that. So the artists, like, you could say like Carti. I'm not really a Carti fan, so I can't speak on Carti too much. I'm not too familiar. Not to say that he makes good or bad music. I'm not here to talk about that. You feel me? Like, I'm just not a Carti fan. I don't listen to his music to even tell you if it's good or bad. You feel me? But someone like him who has his own identity, you know what I mean? Tizo Touchdown. Like, these people that are coming back into the music scene who they're doing their thing, and it's like, you can't look at them and say, you do the same thing old boy do. No, I don't. Like, I'm a one of one. You feel me? Not to say that artists aren't ever gonna be comparable or similar, or that they shouldn't be comparable or similar, but you shouldn't be a damn copy paste of somebody else. That's all I'm saying. You feel me?
Recently has pretty much had the same path getting. Whether we look at superstars like Kendrick Lamar or Travis Scott, or stars who are breaking the molds they were put in like Lil Uzi Vert and Lil Yachty, or even new artists like Tizo Touchdown, or a veteran who's keeping their pulse on the future of the genre like Kanye West, it's rappers like these who are uncompromisably themselves that are bringing hip-hop into what could be its most special chapter yet. So overall, as we enter 2024, we need to understand that hip-hop's not dead, or hell, it isn't even dying. But we are merely in a transitional period, entering an era that is more driven by individual artists as opposed to trendy sounds and styles, and with the oversaturation we have seen with generic and clone rappers as of late, this is not a bad thing. With communities and fandoms bonding over artists who are undeniably original, hip-hop is headed towards an era where nobody knows what will happen next, and if this doesn't embody the spirit of what was started when rap was born 50 years ago, I don't know what does. So let me know your thoughts on this interesting time in rap music that we are living in, and if you enjoyed this video and want to stay up to date on everything major happening in the world of hip-hop this year, be sure to subscribe and stick around.
Alright, so shout out to what's his name again? Fantastic Hip Hop. I think I said it wrong the first time. Fantastic Hip Hop. But yeah, like he was saying in this video, like I said, I feel like we got to get back to having our own identity, but this is only a small part of what's going on in music right now. Like I said, there's the war between streaming and direct to consumer. And a lot of people are gonna go back to direct to consumer because that's where the money is. You know what I mean? So these streaming services are about to go through it, really. They're going to have to revamp the whole infrastructure of the company and how it works, because artists are fed up with how the system works and how much work you got to put in order to profit. And they got people believing that music is free or cheap. But that is not the case, bro. Music is art. Art is always priced at what the artist feels, or it used to be priced at what the artist feel it is worth, right? You go back and you look at your painters, Picasso and all of them, right? Boom. Or we can go Nipsey, we can go Ryan Leslie, we can go, you know, if y'all want to go more current, but you shouldn't be allowed to tell an artist how much he should be selling his music for, or He or she, doesn't matter. You shouldn't be able to tell them how much they should be selling their music for. You should suggest, like, the fact that when you release a music on streaming platforms, you have like 3 options. Like when it comes to pricing, right, on a project, I think it's like it might be like $6 or $7. Then you got like $10 and like $15. But it's like, and then usually I just pick the highest one. Why? Because they're gonna take a cut before I get my cut. So another reason why people are going direct to consumer, cut out the middleman. Why am I paying you, or why are you taking a cut of my money? You ain't even put in no work. You ain't do nothing. I already paid you to release the music. Now you're taking a cut of everything I make. Nah, cool. I'm gonna just go straight through my website, drop on there. My fans buy it from me on there. I get everything I am owed and everything I work for, everything I deserve. The money comes to me. Why not? You feel me? So the current state of hip hop is very interesting, man. It's like, are we really losing value? I don't think so, but I think that we have lost traction. You feel me? Like, we have lost momentum because we started to play a game that was never intended for us to play. You feel me? Like, we've been playing a new game that we should have just stuck to the traditional game. But, you know, with life, with business, with technology, as things advance, new things come into the playing field and you have to learn how to use them. So streaming came into the playing field and we have to learn how to properly use it. I don't think we properly know how to use streaming yet. But I'm going to give you a wild take. I think streaming will become back end, right? What do I mean by that? I feel like artists will start dropping their music, right? They're going to go direct to consumer. They're going to sell their albums and stuff directly to their fans. They're going to go on tour, sell albums and stuff while they're on tour, sell their merch, all that, boom, boom, boom. And then once they feel like that album has lived its full life, you feel me? Like, potential, it has lived up to its full potential, then release it on streaming. And it's like, okay, y'all can have it on streaming services now. We've made what we feel like is all the money we should have made off this project. Boom. I think that's how it's gonna work within the next, I say 2 to 3 years, but it could be 5 to 7. But yeah, we'll see, man. Until next time, Buzzy gone.